Alrighty, what's up YouTube? Spencer K here, and we are back for episode 3. Probably the last episode in terms of story progression, guys. I definitely missed a couple of stories. That's one thing with this game, is there's not a clear-cut path. There kind of is, but there are a couple of stories that are kind of a little bit out of the way. I think it rewards you for exploring more. I definitely think I missed them. It's definitely a helicopter flying overhead right now. You guys could definitely probably hear that. Ruined my intro, damn it. No, but for real, guys, probably gonna be the last episode in terms of like story progression. I think we're gonna see the ending to this game in this episode. That's what I'm expecting. I expect maybe like an episode 4 of us trying to go and backtrack and get all the ones we missed, because there's a lot left, but we're getting near the end. We're probably anywhere from 3 to 5 to the end. I think I'm just gonna try to put them all in this episode. And that's that. But I guess with all that said, man, let's get back into it, bro. Episode 3. We're sounding like a real Let's Play YouTuber now. Alrighty, guys, I am back. I'm sorry, they were mowing the lawn right outside, so I just decided we'll pause, we'll wait. It wasn't super loud, but it was picking it up, so I didn't want that in the background over the story, because it's a good story. You guys know, I'm sure you guys like the story. But alright. That's done. Let's go ahead and continue. I didn't move. I just literally paused and waited for the lawnmower to pass, guys. But alright, let's get right back into it.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Man, the lawnmower is back. Alright. I'm going to make one more cut, guys. I feel bad having it in the background. I'm sure it's not bad, but one more cut. Alrighty, guys, I think it's done. Like I said, it doesn't bother me too much. I just didn't really want it in the background for you guys. I mean, the story's amazing. I'm not even going to talk during the rest of these stories, guys. It's just insane. So, without further ado, let's hope we're all good. Let's hope we can get through this, man. Got some amazing stories up ahead. We look through the peephole, and let's get it.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
This song goes hard.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton Milton had found in the house. Mom didn't want it getting out.
This song honestly goes hard though. It fits perfectly with this game. That's what I mean when I say it goes hard. It perfectly fits with this story. This game. I feel like there's more in here. Lewis rules. Edith. I feel like I missed something in here. I know this isn't the way to go right now, but I feel like I definitely missed stuff in there.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis. Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on. Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
What a fucking noob, am I right, boys? F's in the chat for Lewis, bro. Get fucked. It's just being an absolute dick. Alright, I'm sorry. I had to do it, bro. I had to do it.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery, but his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis.
That one was clever.
We started drifting away from our reality.
I'm trying not to hit none. Ow!
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Until one day he had to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for sinister serpents. He followed the sound of her
Electric.
electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
These lag spikes killer, bro.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping sand, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
That's brutal, bro. Brutal story. Absolutely love it. It's crazy. Every single story is honestly one to remember. That's why I like this game.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
These loads are destroying it.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart.
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Before I go any further, I want to point out this was one of the stories I thought I missed. So I'm still going to try to go back and do all the ones that we haven't done, because I think there's only 1 or 2 left. But
I never thought I'd go back to it.
this makes me feel a little better.
When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wondered. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. she got better for a while. And then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
I'm at a loss for words. Just like this isn't even my first time playing it, and I still am, bro. Like, it's actually a legendary story. I love it. I would easily give this a 10 out of 10 for like story. I mean, as you guys saw, not the longest game. I mean, what, we killed it in 3 parts. Now, I mean, I don't even think any of them cracked an hour. Maybe the first one, but I mean, I was rambling a lot. It's a very short story, and we missed a couple, I know. But, I mean, just in a short amount of time, they got me, right? They got me. It's crazy. That's how you know it's a good story, man. I love it. Hopefully you guys loved it. There is an achievement. I don't know exactly which name, but there is an achievement to just let the credits play all the way through. Once again, look at this credit roll, right? It's not just a bunch of text and stuff. No, I really like this. They like what? They went and got like kind of baby or like kids photos of like all the people, and they kind of got a theme going on with the game. And then they got all this art and stuff as it goes through. You know, I like that. Like, they put effort into this game. Beautiful story. Beautiful story. And they have all types of props if you're looking from the actual game. Like the little Lego characters are from Gregory's story. I saw some above. I just didn't say the rock wall. There was a rock wall. The kite. The kite is a story we missed. That's another great story. The frog, the duck, the whale from Gregory. You got the monster mask from, what's her name? Barbara? Oh, there's Barbara. Yep, Barbara's little... I really like this. It's a really nice credit roll, but I'm going to go ahead and let the credits play all the way through. I only feel as if it is the right thing to do because this game, everyone deserves it, bro. It's 100%. Absolutely love it. I definitely missed several stories, and I am 100% going to do an episode 4, trying to go and backtrack all the stories we missed. I know the kite one is one we missed. I can't really think of any other ones at the moment, but you know there's definitely some out there. Did we do the astronaut one? Yeah, we did. That was the swing set one. Yeah, I can't remember his name actually. It started with an M. Oh my, because it was like oh my, right? It was man, what was his name? I can't think of it. I can't think of it at the time, man. But hey, beautiful game. I fully plan on playing the other game made by Giant Sparrow. I can't remember the name of it. I'll Google it. I think it's a PS4 only. PS3, PS4 only. Beautiful. Beautiful story. I imagine the second one, or the first one, sorry, is going to be insane as well. This one's newer, so, you know, going to have to take that into account. But, like, honestly, Giant Sparrow, man, I doubt they'll ever see this, right? And if there's one thing I could tell them, man, like, keep doing what you're doing with these games. It's not long, and that's, like, my only complaint, which isn't the worst thing in the world, right? I like it, man. The replay a story option is now available. Select Edith to play from the beginning. So that's kind of what I was saying, where Edith is kind of the whole book. Like, you don't finish. We didn't find out her story until the end. Now, we definitely missed a bunch. Look, we missed Sven. Looks like we missed Gus. Kay. Oh, wait, no. Did we? We definitely missed Gus. And that's the kite one. Actually, you know what? No, I'm figuring it out. So the Sanjay is with Dawn, because that's Dawn's husband. Dawn is Edith's mom. So that makes sense. Sanjay was the father. Sven, you heard about Sven in Edie's story. And then Odin in Ingeborg? I can't remember how to say that. But so the little black leaves are kind of like the marriages into the family with like Kay, Sven, Ingeborg, and Sanjay. Okay, so I get that now. So we did miss Gus. I'm gonna level with you guys. I'm gonna figure out how to do Gus's story, and we're gonna go ahead and add it on here. There's only one story left. I didn't actually think that there was just one. I didn't know that before. I thought the little black leaves were like a secret like story you had to find, but no, it's just like someone married into the family. I get that now. We have one story left. Let's go ahead and throw it on, ladies and gentlemen, and complete this insane, beautiful, I would honestly say masterpiece of a game. You guys do not hear me say I love a game often, right? Every time I play a game, I always find shit I hate about it. In this game, like I said, it's not even that big of a deal because it's a small company, small developer. Honestly, I'm playing it for free on Game Pass, so it's not like I dropped, $60 on it, but it's a shorter story, but it's a beautiful story. They don't need 20 hours of gameplay to really get to your heart and really get to you. They needed a solid 2 hours and it borderlines bring me to tears every single fucking time I play this game. It's insane, man. Just everything, every single story I really did enjoy. Like, it had a twist. I think every story was unique and insane in its own way. But alright, I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to do Gus's story. Alrighty guys, I am back and I have figured it out. So first of all, I want to point out that I am completely a fucking dumbass, right? I didn't realize this ever, but you can legitimately just click a story that you may have missed and replay it. But just to help you guys out, if you guys do want to play the game yourself and do this story yourself, if you guys remember Gregory, the little baby in the bathtub that drowned, and it was the duck and all the, the dolphin, I think, whatever it was. The bed next to him is Gus's. So Gus and Gregory are in the same room. So if you want to, do the story correctly, do it in order, you do Gregory's story, and then you can do Gus. You can do Gus and then Gregory. It doesn't matter. They're in the same room. I just wanted to get that out there for you guys as well. That way you guys know, and you can do it yourself. But all right, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the final story of this game. One I somehow walked by, which, surprising. It's actually surprising. But all right, here it is.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
I just wanted to point out that's Gregory's bed, so it's literally this bed right here is Gus's, but we got that out of the way now, so.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. Rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you. She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
And there it is. There is the last story. We have officially completed all of the stories. To my knowledge, unless there's some secret story that's not in the book. But absolutely beautiful, man. I love this game. And I know I've said it a billion times, guys. There's Gregory and there's Gus. So I did end up walking right fucking past it, I guess. It's on me. I remember I walked up to this thinking it was something, but it was right here. But with all that said, man, absolutely beautiful story, guys. If you guys ever want me to do anything else with this game, let me know down below. If you want me to do, like, I know I've seen on YouTube, people do, like, one story is one episode, and, like, they didn't talk over it at all. It's kind of, I mean, it's a game like this where it's, like, so story-based, I feel bad talking during the cutscenes and during the little things. You know, I put in a couple jokes and stuff. I didn't really talk or react a lot, which I feel bad for. I don't feel like that's really like a Let's Play or, you know, a walkthrough. I feel like I should have been more vocal. But it just felt wrong to talk over it. So, I don't know, man. Let me know if you guys ever want me to do anything with this. If you want me to do like an achievement hunting episode or something like that. Let me know. I mean, I'm not going to promise I'm going to do it. But, like, if you guys comment it, then, you know, I'll have it in my head. And, you know, maybe one day I can't get to it. But, with that said, man, once again, I give this game a 10 out of 10 for story. It's short, but it's beautiful. And I mean, if you look at the company, small, right? And they somehow can pull off something like this that these massive companies fail to do in these long story. I mean, I'd rather play this than any Assassin's Creed. I'm gonna come clean. I'm sorry, not to shit on Assassin's Creed. Like, I'll get into that when I play Assassin's Creed sometime. But I love this story. Beautiful story. I'd have to rate it very high up there. Highly recommend, guys. If you have Game Pass, highly recommend downloading, man. It's free with Game Pass. It's literally on Game Pass. You got no reason not to play it. You can knock it out in 2-3 hours if you wanted to. Honestly, you could probably speedrun it in an hour and a half. You got to do it. If you're hunting achievements, you get like 1,000 gamer score, 10 achievements, I think, all for 100 each. Let's check. See, 10 achievements, each achievement's 100 gamer score. I'm not sure what it is on PlayStation. I'm sure it's high up there as well. I'm looking forward to doing their other game, and if they have a third one, I think they have a third one in development or something. If they do or they don't, I don't know. I don't really care at the moment, I guess. But if they do, I do plan on doing it at some point in time. Huge shout out to Giant Sparrow, man. Like, I really do love this game and recommend it. And with that said, man, I think that's going to be it for this playthrough. Let me know what story was your favorite. Honestly, you know what? I better do that first too. All right, I can't ask you guys to tell me your favorite story, and then not give you my favorite story. I'm gonna come clean, man. We're gonna leave out Edith's story because she's the entire game. It's not really one story. I mean, if you are talking about her birth with the house, I guess it could be that one. But I'm gonna leave her out. Me personally, man. I gotta say, man, it's gonna seem kind of weird, man. I really do. This is hard. All right, this is hard. Gregory's with the bathtub and just, it's sad. It's honestly, that's probably one of the most heartbreaking ones for me. I'm gonna come clean. That's probably, besides I guess Edith, like her son, you know, because that was the end of the story. Is her son? She died during childbirth, I'm gonna assume, and her son's the only one to make it out, and that's why he had the book. That's why he was at the house. That's why he was at the grave. That was probably the saddest. But a number two, man, is, I mean, maybe even a tie has got to be Gregory, man. The baby in the bathtub with the frog. It was a frog. He's holding a frog. That one got me, man. It was just sad, you know. It sucked. But, I mean, they made him seem happy. I also really like Calvin's. Calvin's story is going to be the story you will always see and hear if you see this game. It's the one with the swing set off a cliff. You know, that is the very first clip I saw, and that's what made me actually download and play the game. And I love it. I really did like that one. As well as, man, I'm going to be honest, it's got to be a tie between Molly and Barbara. Like, the only reason I like those two, both of them had, like, a really good, like, little story. Barbara was the movie one with, it was almost like a comic book, you know. I thought that was cool. And then Molly was the very first one with, she was the cat, and then she was a, what did it go? It went cat, owl, shark, and then sea monster. And she was the one kind of being the different creatures trying to eat, you know, because she was hungry. And she had, like, the wild imagination. I really liked Molly and Barbara's story. I'm going to have to put them as a tie for 3. Yeah. But I guess those are the 4 stories I'm going to have to put as my favorites. Let me know which one you guys like the most, or your favorites, or your least favorite. Let me know your overall opinion of the game too, man. Like, 100%. I read all the comments. You know, I hope you guys enjoy the game. I hope you guys get the chance to check it out. I don't know if it's on PC or PlayStation. I assume it's on PlayStation. I don't know about PC. But with that, man, I guess I'm going to stop rambling on. Let me know what other games you guys want me to play in the future down below. And I'm going to catch you guys next time.